streams that filter through this land of ours and fill a sportsman's dreams. Enjoy what nature holds for us, her bounty never ends. Getting back to basics with the practical sportsman. It's always an adventure, no matter where we go. From a favorite hunting spot to the hottest fishing hole. Outdoor life we all can share with family and friends. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman.
Hi there, come on in. It's Thursday night, April 13th, 2000. I'm going to do a little bit of different type of show tonight because, now I don't mean to get, like Ross Perot on you here, but what we have here is the state of Michigan. And the problem we have this week is Detroit, Channel 56, is showing a Great American Presidents series. Channel 23 in Lansing and 35 in Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo are having auctions. So that means I'm not even going to be on this Thursday night here in the southern part of the state, and that's where 80% of my audience is. So this show is being viewed basically by the people in the north, which is why we're going to talk about fish, different fish. We're going to show you a game that we played, it was a number of years ago, called Name That Fish. We'll be back with that in just a moment. This is one of many unusual fish and wildlife mounts we have in the museum. This is actually a large specimen of a fish that is relatively common in some parts of our Michigan lakes. You know what it is? Well, what we're going to do is something that we put in our magazine a number of years ago. It's a little game I call Name That Fish. So let's play it. Now turn to page 21 and see if you can identify these fish that have already been caught. Starting with number 1, actually a pair of fish, not the same species. Both were caught at the end of April off Manistee. The one on the left is held by Jeff Lure of Milford. It has a white mouth and gums, which tells us it's a trout. The heavy body and squarish tail are also clues to its species. Emil Dean fishes for this type of fish in the spring near shore at Manistee, less than 10 feet of water with long lines, trolling lures like bombers. And here I am catching one of these fish, late April off Manistee. Do you recognize this trout?
Brenda's going to have to back up here.
Yeah, I'll have to back up.
Right, okay.
Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. A little bit green.
Look at that, eh?
Oh, first fish of 1990. Well, this one is a little smaller than the trophy that Jeff Lure is holding. His weighed 17 pounds, was 30 inches long. But now that fish on the right, that's a little longer, but it weighs a couple pounds less. Now, its tail is bigger, slightly forked. The fish is darker with smaller spots on the top of the body, including a spotted tail. Now, it has black gums, which tells us it's a salmon. But what kind? Jot your answer down. Jeff Lure and his dad won a late April fishing tournament with these fish off Manistee. Continuing with our Can You Name That Fish quiz, fish number 2 here is shaped somewhat like an eel, but it's the only member of the codfish family to live in fresh water. Ed Kuhn Jr. caught this one May 15th in the St. Mary's River fishing a dead smelt, probably for pike, but he caught this 36-inch, 14-pound trophy. Now, this fish really tastes great, but it's so ugly that they just don't sell in fish markets in Michigan. And that's the truth. Know what it is? Now, fish number 3. Pete McGurran from St. Clair Shores caught it in Lake St. Clair off Macomb County. He was still fishing with a night crawler. This 14-incher got him a DNR Master Angler Award. Now, it's lousy eating, at least by human standards. A 2-pounder is huge. Nobody fishes for him intentionally. And here's the hint. They have big eyes. That should be a dead giveaway. And no, it's not called a big eye. Be a little more creative than that. Okay, fish number 4. Okay, this is one of the least popular fish in the United States. It's found all over. It has big scales, and 30-pounders are caught each year in Michigan. Now, in Europe, this species is highly regarded as good eating and Many anglers consider it to be the top European game fish, but not in the United States. You probably can guess this one, but what about the fish right here below it on the page? Now, if you say it's ugly, I have to agree. Not fully scaled, it has some blotches of very large scales and bare areas of skin. Not a beauty, but do you know what this fish is called? Now, our fifth category. This is held by Mike Rotter from Coldwater, who speared this 41.5-inch fish from a Branch County lake. Mike cruises at night with lights in the spring with specially equipped electric-powered pontoon boats sneaking along. He spears these when they're near the surface. If you know your oddball fish, you should know this one. Now, the next three fish here, they're all from the same family, but different species. Now, these are numbers 6, 7, and 8. Number 6 is the most common species in the family. A lot of people are fishing for them right now. They run the rivers in the spring to spawn. Years ago, I fished with Jim Kragenbrink on the Shiawassee River at this time of year. And Jim has the special touch for how these fish bite on a gob of worms.
That's it. This is the one. Jim Kragenbrink with his first master angler.
Well, these fish can sometimes be easy to catch, but sometimes they're not. Jim caught 4 or 5 for every one that I was able to hook. He caught a lot of them, too. Now, this species is full of bones, so most people don't eat them fresh. They prefer them smoked or canned. Chad Rising from Flushing caught this 21-incher from the Flint River on March 15th using a gob of worms. 16-year-old Brent Emmerich from St. Clair caught this 25-inch cousin to the last fish from Bell River in St. Clair County, April 18th. That was 25 inches. And here's the hint. Brent is wearing a Detroit Red Wings t-shirt. Red Wings. That's all I'm going to say. And now for fish number 8. Another one in the same family has a long nose. Oops, that was almost too much of a hint. This is a cold water fish found in rivers only during the spring spawning runs. This 21-incher was caught by Alan Retluski from Cadillac, fishing the Big Manistee River, casting a Clio for trout. Now, that long nose is the hint. I mean, a really big hint. Okay, here we have fish number 9. Now, I've got to tell you, a lot of these are caught in the Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, Lake Huron, and different parts of the state. They're usually 2 pounds or less. This 31-inch, 13-pounder is a monster, and it came from Stony Lake in Oceana County, caught by Rick Hake from Walker, 3rd week in June on a crayfish. Any idea what it is? And lastly, fish number 10. Dan Gonzalez caught it from Houghton Lake fishing a dead chub for pike on May 24th. 32 inches long. I'll bet this fish put up a battle every bit as good as a pike, if not better. Now, if you don't know this one by the shape, I'm doggone disappointed in you. And that was a hint, doggone it. Now let's go back to the start and give you the identities of these fish. Well, category number 1, the fish on the left. In fact, we have both of them here in the museum, courtesy of Emil Dean. The one on the left is what they call a football brown trout. It's a Great Lakes brown trout, large blotchy spots on the body, and its tail is a squarish tail, small, and it doesn't have very strong rays in it, so you can't pick up a trout by the tail like you can the fish on the right. Now, this one has a much stronger, wider, larger tail. You can actually hold these fish by the tail, and the whole tail is spotted. This is a Chinook salmon. So in summary, the fish on the left, squarish tail, brown trout. Fish on the right, spotted tail. That's a king salmon. Now, number 2, it spawns under the ice in February in shallow water. Otherwise, they're out deep, and very few are caught during the summer. The only freshwater codfish, it's called a burbot, locally referred to as a lawyer, ling, or cusk. Now, the third fish, I told you, was a small species, but it had a big eye, a real big eye. That's why it's called a moon eye. And nobody fishes for them intentionally. They're all incidental catches when people are fishing for something else. Now, number 4, these 2 fish are both carp. Dana Kiltz from Saginaw caught this normal carp from the Saginaw River on May 25th at noon using a worm. It was 36 inches long, weighed nearly 20 pounds. Now, carp are fun to catch. Here's one that Englishman Richard Dawson caught from Kent Lake. Richard took 1-month vacation to come to the United States just to catch big carp. Well, it's not popular with United States anglers, but carp fight hard and they're great sport. But we have another carp in the quiz, this one with blotchy scales held by John Plunkey from Mount Morris. He shot it with a bow and arrow in the Flint River on June 15th. Its scale pattern is not normal, which is why it's called a leather carp or mirror carp. Not attractive, just a variety of the good old common carp. Number 5, an ancient fish. You can see in our museum mount here that it has a long snout that is full of teeth, and it's a bony snout too. Almost impossible to catch on hook and line. Hook and line anglers often use Velcro or a piece of nylon stocking for bait because the teeth get caught in that, and that's how they catch them, rarely on hook and line. Now, gars steal a lot of bait. When you're fishing in a lake and you can't seem to hook the fish, could very well be a gar. They're a lot more common than people think in Michigan lakes. Numbers 6, 7, and 8, they're all in the sucker family. They're all primarily caught in the spring in rivers. We have a couple of white suckers, which was the first photo in the museum. You can see why they're called suckers. No teeth, just a sucker-like mouth to feed on the bottom. Now, we don't have the next kind of sucker in the museum right now, but I told you Brent's Detroit Red Wings t-shirt was a giveaway. Red Wings? Okay, this is a red horse sucker. And many people feel that of all the suckers, the red horse is the best eating. And finally, this sucker has the long nose. Now, come on, take a guess at its name. All of you geniuses who said long-nosed sucker are absolutely right. Strange little fish. Not too many are caught each season, at least of trophy size. Number 9, there are over 30 species of this kind of fish that live in salt water. They're the drums and croakers. This is the only freshwater drum. It's also called a sheep's head, and both this picture and the mounted one we have here in the museum are terribly large. This one is 21.5 pounds. It was mounted by Randy DeZormo from the Sioux, taken from Muskong Bay in 1986. Man, that's a huge sheep's head. Most of them that anglers catch are about 2 pounds or so. One evening fishing off the pier at Oscoda, we were doing with John Hook. Well, he got me into quite a few of these sheep's head from the mouth of the Au River. Very few people keep them because they're not that good fried or baked. But if you boil the fillets like you would with a burbot, you'll end up with meat that tastes like lobster when you dip it in melted butter. But this is the average size of a sheep's head right here. And finally, fish number 10. Odd fins, a spot on the tail. This is called a bowfin or dogfish. While we were fishing up in Lake Leelanau with Mark Martin, he tied into one. I tell you, it put up an excellent battle.
Yeah.
What is it, Martin?
It looked like a dogfish. It was
Gar?
big. Yeah, it's a dogfish.
Oh, no kidding.
I thought it was
I'll
a big
be
walleye
darned,
for a
huh?
second, but it-
Isn't that
This is
something?
the first time I've ever caught a dogfish.
Prehistoric fish right
Yeah.
there. And jump. I didn't know they jumped.
Oh, they're vicious.
Oh,
Look at that.
yeah. What is it, a golden retriever or a Labrador? They are
Hey,
fighters.
look at that. We've never,
Never seen a dogfish?
never caught one while we were fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Make a weird noise.
Well, there's gar in here, needle-nosed gar and dogfish. Look at that. Can you believe they jump? Huh. They're a strong fish.
Awesome.
They make weird noises too. Kind of like a dog. They start after a while. I really don't want to reach in there because they do get some nasty teeth.
See if we could, you got this?
He's got
this
some right
will
up
work.
there.
Okay. Take a look at the teeth on this.
You wouldn't want to get them. Are probably worse than northern or anything because they're set in its jaw in a bone.
Mm-hmm.
And if they grabbed a hold of you, it's just be like a dog grabbing right onto you and ripping. And they'd take some meat and right down to everything.
Yeah, don't be fooled by the small teeth.
Then
But
the
looking, yeah, heavily scaled. They're a rough type of fish with that characteristic spot on the tail. Otherwise, called a bowfin. I suppose, fortunately, they don't snap while they're flopping.
Prehistoric fish,
Yeah,
millions
they
of
are
years old.
prehistoric fish.
Look at the size of that.
This is a dogfish, properly called a bowfin, but a key characteristic is the spot on the tail. If it's ringed with yellow-orange like this one is, it's a male. If it's just a plain black spot, it's a female. That's a dogfish. A quick summary: brown trout on the left, Chinook or king salmon on the right. A burbot, also known as ling or lawyer. A moon eye, aptly named. Your regular carp, and a mirror or leather carp. The long-nosed gar, and the three suckers were the common white sucker, the tastier red horse sucker, and the oddball long-nosed sucker. An oversized freshwater drum or sheep's head, and the lowly dogfish that is one of the fightingest fish you'll ever catch.
Make a weird noise.
Well, there's gar in here, needle-nosed gar and dogfish. Look at that. Can you believe they jump?
The other day, I was at Annie Ray RV, getting a motorhome and that ready to go this year, just waiting for warm weather. Mark Haverkate is a salesman there, and he had a picture on his desk. I looked at that picture. I said, whoa, I think I recognize that kind of fish. Do you? After playing Name That Fish, you should recognize that. Of course, the guys holding this fish, one of them is Mark Haverkate's brother, Chad Haverkate. He lived in Brighton until 1987, then he moved down to Naples, Florida. Bermuda shorts, you know when that was? That was March 1st of this year. We were freezing up here. He was having a good time. He was fishing in his flats boat off the Gulf of Mexico, and he caught, those are saltwater drum. Those are drum, just like the freshwater species that we have. Of course, this is a huge freshwater drum, and those drum that Chad Haverkate's holding up there, those are, they're probably not average size. They're big ones, but they grow much bigger in salt water. Anyway, we do have some big fish to be caught in this state. Let's check it out in our guide report. Well, that wraps up this show during the last part of winter, I guess. Oh, what a bummer. So we're getting things together, and I hope you do too, and I hope when the weather breaks, you get outdoors, because it's a great place to be. See you next week. You were 6. You caught it in July. When's your birthday?
September.
You caught it when you were 5. You don't like to think about when you were 5, do you?
No.
Okay. We'll play. You're 6 now, and you caught this bluegill that's 11.5 inches long in the evening towards the end of July. And who were you fishing with?
My dad.
Your dad? And was he catching fish?
No.
Isn't he a very good fisherman?
Yeah.
He is, but what happened that night?
I'm the only one that caught the fish.
Oh, yeah?
And
What?
is that the only fish?
Oh, this was the only fish? Just the one? Now, what's the secret that you have for catching fish when nobody else can catch them?
Not telling.
You have a secret, but you're not going to tell?
Not telling.
Well, I'm going to have to go up to your dad and see if I can squeak this out of him. Do you have any clue why he's such a good fisherman?
Well, he pays attention to what he's doing
Huh.
most of the time.
And you weren't.
No, obviously not, because I wasn't catching anything.
So he caught it on a leech.
Yep,
Who hooked the leech on?
I did for him the first couple times.
But he handled the leech after that?
Yeah, he's getting pretty good at it. He's getting to be a good fisherman.
Oh, yeah? So would you rather use leech or nightcrawler?
Leech.
Really? You don't mind the way they kind of stick to you?
No.
You ever used a Helgramite?
No.
You might not like them as much. Well, that's great, this bluegill. I hope you catch another big one and we can see you next year. Okay?
Okay.
Taylor Little, congratulations. Put her there. There you go. Thank you.